celebrating the inspirational people in transport as being our country's hidden heroes for always going above and beyond to keep Britain moving safely. The pandemic has heaped so much additional pressure on them, and without their service, communities across the nation would have struggled without access to essential goods, services, or healthcare. Joining me today is Beth Jones from T Alun Jones, a family-run haulage, storage and distribution company in mid-Wales. They operate a large fleet of vehicles from one of 4 sites on the Shropshire border. And Beth is here to represent the whole team behind the scenes, who all deserve a very special mention for going the extra mile. So hi Beth, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Are you?
Yes, good, thanks.
Good, fabulous. First question for you, Beth, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I understand that you've had a super busy time since COVID hit in March last year. Can you tell us a little bit about what you faced as a business?
Chaos, really. So in March, first of all, everything just dropped off. It went extremely quiet. We didn't really know what was going to happen. I'm sure everyone was the same. It did start to pick up. We were really lucky. We managed to get some of our long-term customers, gave us bits and drips and drabs of work to keep us all going. But, you know, the drivers were brilliant. And even if it was a bit of yard work helping out, they just put their hand to anything to keep us going. And then as we were coming out of COVID, it just went crazy. And couldn't get drivers. People were sort of changing roles and, you know, looking for different jobs, which I think was across everyone in the UK. And it's just been, manic ever since, which is brilliant, touch wood, but hard to manage as well.
Wow, I can imagine, absolutely. So you talk there a little bit about the different roles that your drivers have taken on during the pandemic. Does a typical working day for them now look completely different to how it did pre-COVID?
Not too dissimilar, but a lot more. We're finding it difficult. I know everyone talks about driver shortages, which there is, of course, but there's also just general staff shortages when we're delivering into, say, RDCs or supermarkets, things like that. The waiting time to be unloaded or reloaded, because they're short of just warehouse staff, is, 5-6 hours, where before, you'd be tipped and reloaded within the hour and on your way again. So that's causing a lot of hassle, because it's, making the shortage even worse, because we're going into the next day's deliveries. The time slots are all being moved and whatnot. And the traffic during COVID, all the drivers loved it. It was quiet. They'd fly through Birmingham and they'd be, I've done it in a record time. Where now it's like chaos again and everyone's back on the roads. It almost seems worse than before. And you think, is it because people aren't so keen on maybe public transport that they're going in cars again? Or it just seems a lot busier again at the moment. But the work is generally the same. For us, touch wood, it's sort of, we're general haulage, so we do a lot into RDCs and supermarkets, but then we've got a lot of work into sort of, your Jewsons and Boys and Bowdens, all timber products and building products for house and estates. So it's not been too bad for us. We've kept pretty similar work-wise.
Fabulous, thank you. It's certainly clear that your team are doing anything and everything, and certainly going that extra mile for us.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually believe that congratulations is in order, as this year you are celebrating your 60th year in the business.
Yes.
Amazing, that's fabulous. So on this, could you shed a little bit of light about how things particularly have changed for T Alun Jones over the years? Because I'm sure there's been a ton of changes.
Yes, definitely. Well, Joyce and Alan started in 1961, so obviously I don't have a clue what was going on back then, but I've heard loads of stories. But they say one of the biggest things is it's hard to imagine, especially for myself, is there was no, let alone mobile phones, but just general phones. Drivers would be travelling throughout the UK, and as soon as they left the depot in the morning, there'd be no way to contact them till they got back later in the week. And it just seems crazy. But they started off in hay and straw, delivering to farmers out the country. That progressed on to delivering potatoes, mainly local throughout Shropshire. And then in the sort of 1980s, 90s, they bought this main site here, And they're in general haulage. They do all sorts now, curtain siders delivering food and drinks, flatbed trailers, which are what you see your bricks and sawn timber on, so your fence panels for your gardens and things like that. We have walking floor trailers, which is like for bedding, animal bedding and things like that, or horse arenas and menages. So it's changed a lot, definitely. And we started the photos of the small lorries, without even a bed in them. And then now they've got tellies and microwaves and coffee machines. So it's definitely changed for the better. But yeah, it's good, touch wood, another 60 years to go.
Oh, absolutely. So with so much change, it must be really important to have a committed team with you at the side as well. So are you proud to have a team that have played such an important role during the pandemic?
Definitely. Our staff are amazing. We've got, really long-standing staff. So we've got Gareth Jones, known as Skippy. He's been here the longest at the moment, 28 years. Wow. So older than me. And then we've got a few others in their 20 years, but just behind him. And, most people come and they stay and they have a really good laugh and a good community here, but they just are brilliant, real good. We're all looking forward to the Christmas party this year to let our hair down and have a few drinks, but yeah, they are amazing, to be fair.
Oh, excellent. Very well deserved drinks as well.
Definitely.
Follow-up question for you on that note. Have you heard particularly from Skippy, from the rest of your team? Have they made any comments on how it feels to be nominated as our hidden hero?
They are really happy. They're really chuffed. They're looking forward to see the video. So yeah, I think we'll definitely celebrate in a couple of weeks' time. It means a lot just to be sort of recognised, because I know a lot of the time drivers aren't given the best, recognition. I think through the pandemic, it's definitely helped to show how much they're needed and what people think of them. They're well supported now, but it's really just made them feel good. I think that, yeah, they're the best part about the business, really.
Oh, excellent. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. In terms of your prize, I understand that you've decided to make a charity donation to Lyndon Davies in Shrewsbury.
Yes, if possible. Alan had suffered from cancer a couple of years ago, and they were brilliant to him and still are, so we'd love it if we could just donate the money to them. He really appreciates everything, and I think it's a good local charity to help as well.
Absolutely. Anything we can do to help support that, 100%.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome, no problem at all, thank you. And lastly, very final question for you today, Beth, is how have you ensured that your drivers have remained safe whilst being out on the roads, making those essential journeys, particularly during the pandemic and the rest?
It was very tricky to begin with, I know, with the shortage of from everything, toilet rolls, PPE, just making sure everyone had everything. It was quite a struggle. Now everyone has a full PPE set for COVID, make sure everyone's, checked in twice a day, make sure everyone's okay morning, noon and night. And just, speak to them as often as we can, see what they need, and different, not just PPE, but mental health wise. It's quite an unsociable job, in the lorry on their own all week. So yeah, we just check in with them, make sure everything's okay, no problems, and encourage them to talk. So that's good.
Excellent, thank you. I'm absolutely certain that communication, that support will mean so much to Skippy and the rest of the team. So absolutely, thank you.
Definitely.
That actually brings me to the last of our questions. So once more, a huge thank you for joining me today, and a massive congratulations to the rest of the team from us here at Teletrack Navman. You're welcome. We're so thankful for what you've been doing throughout the pandemic, ensuring that everything gets from A to B and the rest. So thank you. And again, congratulations for your 60th year in the business.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth.
Bye.